Hello everybody, my name is Luke Reardon and this is my Module 1 for EDL 851. A little bit about myself. I grew up here in Solomon, Kansas, where I currently teach, which isn't very far from Hayes, about an hour and a half. Actually, a lot of my buddies out of high school. I went to high school in Salon. I went to Hayes, so we're not too far. I married my high school sweetheart, and we have 2 children. We are about ready to celebrate our 4-year wedding anniversary already. We have those 2 boys right there named David and Tommy. We've got David, he'll be 3 in May, and Tommy will be, he just turned 1 on January 4th. So they're both getting a little older in that picture, but it's the most current one I had. So just a little bit about myself. I'm a stereotypical small town Kansas kid. I just love anything that's outside. Hunting, fishing, kayaking. My wife loves kayaking in the summer. Basketball and working and staring at my luscious lawn. My wife made me put that in there, but I went full-on dad mode once I became a dad, when you're hanging around the house a lot more, and I spend way too much time in the yard more time in the yard than I probably should. I'm kind of getting made fun of by the neighbors, but that's all right. I guess it's part of it. I need to get those New Balance shoes that everybody says dads need, right? So education and work. I graduated from Benedictine, which is in Ashland, Kansas, which is about 45 minutes north of Kansas City, right on the Missouri border, on the Kansas side, obviously. I taught and worked. I student taught, and I worked in Brookside, Missouri at St. Peter's Catholic School. Kind of got lucky there. I'm one of the few that I was student teaching, and for some reason they had to let a teacher go, and they moved me to their spot, so I actually got paid during my student teaching, which was pretty lucky, because you all know how it is financially going through college. And right now, it's my 5th year in Solomon, so 6 years total of teaching. I currently teach 5/8 social studies. I coach football, basketball, and track. You know how if you teach at a small school, you kind of know how things are at a small school. You do everything. I was hired as a 5/6 social studies teacher and coached basketball. The next year, I taught 7/8 English and coached football and basketball. 3rd year, I was social studies 6, 7, 8 social studies, and then did track, football, and basketball. And now I'm what I did last year. I'm 5/8 social studies and coached football, basketball, and track. So every single year, it just keeps getting more and more and more, and that's all right. That's why I finally decided to go ahead and make the plunge and get my master's in this. So these pictures here that's Benedictine there where I graduated. I'll move that there. And that's where I just, like I said, anything outside. I played lacrosse for them randomly. That was kind of different. And then this picture here is when we won our league champs in basketball a couple years ago, or I guess last year. And this is the Solomon Gorillas, where I currently am. So some strategies. Let's get into the goal of it. I think the time limit on this was 5 to 7 minutes, so I'll probably go over that. I'm kind of like to talk, I guess. So anyway, we'll try to get that. So strategies for supporting a collaborative professional culture. The picture I chose was obviously an assignment previously. And assignment previously in one of the classes in this master's degree program talked about how we're all just puzzle pieces all fitting together, and I thought this picture was perfectly aligned with this assignment, just for the fact that keep our we keep on keeping each other focused, but we also work off of each other, work off of our peers, learn from each other, and we're all just pieces of a puzzle making a larger puzzle, all for the benefit of our students. So, first thing, starting with my photo here, I need to position it somewhere where it would be out of the way. The strategies for supporting a collaborative professional culture for support teacher improvement. For first, the things I got from one of the articles was peer observation, satisfactory and unsatisfactory systems, federal incentives, of course, are all great. But I think one of the biggest ones for myself that I got off of this was peer observations. And the reason being is because I do work in a small school. I am the only, I guess I could say I'm a department lead, because I am the only person in that department. So our administration does a good job about collaborating with the people within our league. We are part of the Wheat State League, so we have a couple meetings every year with all the other social studies teachers. For myself, the science and math, they all meet up because they're all the only ones in their department. And also we're able to travel around to different schools to kind of see how they are doing things and utilizing technology and other things in their classroom. Things we personally use, like I said, we got league meetings, teacher evaluation, and we use a training system out of Greenbush, which is a certified training program. Teacher evaluations, one thing we've done lately is, once again, I'm 5'8". We've also got many younger social studies teachers, but also just how people, or younger teachers or people who teach younger students. And we have high school teachers as well. We do a good job about staying in contact and moving around throughout the school just to, once again, be on the same page, work with history on students, but also see how we're using different things in our classroom. And as far as teacher retention and well-being, I put these two together. I've got a couple of slides on teacher retention and well-being because personally I think they are one and the same. Without well-being of a teacher, you're not going to keep them. You're not going to retain them. So if you want teacher retention, a good thing, we've really got to focus on the well-being of each student. Each student or each educator. Everyone should want to work and foster within the work environment. So I think this goes up to higher, especially superintendents. I think a lot of principals, at least my principals, are very good about being, being focused on us and what we need and being supportive of us. I believe a lot of superintendents, my superintendent works in a small school and he's in charge of just our school, so he's very, very good to us, and he's very, he treats us with a lot of respect. But other places that I've worked and seen, you can kind of see how superintendents and older kind of see teachers as more of just parts, just to fill in, just to, they see us as, someone's leaving, well, we better fill in that spot, and don't really care who it is and if they fit in with the environment. So just with that, everyone needs to be on the same page to be able to foster and want to be there, want to make the workplace better. Take time to talk to staff and coworkers. This is very important, especially from the higher ups. Just teachers are very, very, personally, a lot of teachers are very, obviously they're there for a reason. They love children and they want to be here for them. So just being able to take time to talk to them, to see how they're doing, get down on their level, see what they need, see what their concerns are, just to get on their level and to really just build that relationship with them. Learn what is affecting staff outside of obvious pressures. Everybody has lives outside of the school. Everybody has those stresses and those difficulties outside of school, and we need to remember that people have lives, and people have lives outside of work. And on top of that, they are taking home a lot of the things that they see and deal with at school. You see students with terrible home lives, and you're taking that just baggage home with you, added to your daily life struggles. But learning those four things, all of this provides knowledge that can help make school a better place to work. Strategies for supporting a collaborative professional culture to support teacher retention and well-being. Again, this is just second slide. So operating as a team. This a lot is directed towards what we are all training to be, which is, up in administration. We need to remember that who knows best are the people in the trenches, which are the teachers, the people that see it every day. We can't make decisions without their input because that really isn't, we don't know 100% what's going on, where they're at. Build strong employee relationships. They drive engagement, but also create unity amongst staff. This is huge, and I think one of these huge things that I kind of talked about was it's hard to build relationships when you're being a professional all the time. I think it's very, very important to collaborate and create opportunities for people to be off campus or off school settings, to be able to let down that guard a little bit, to really get to know everybody on a personal level. And doing that, I think that comes back to the workforce with a little bit more comfortability amongst each other. So that's one thing that I personally have really been trying to do within our little nook of junior high teachers. Be open with mental health. It talks a little bit later. I'll get into that a little bit more, but just being able to talk about mental health and being able to be open about that can really just help have other people want to help you, but also be more vulnerable towards you with their mental health. And that is important just because it talks about keeping things bottled up and how it's never a good thing. And then I've already talked about work life a little bit, but keeping that work life balance, we have to know when to go home. We have to know what to try to leave at the door, and try to not let things that we see at school or what happens at school affect our daily lives. Mostly, I think of my children. And how I hate coming home if something's been a bad day, and kind of not taking it out on them, but kind of being in that mood where you don't really want to be there, be playing with them, and be as active as you've spent so much energy throughout the day. But you need to have that balance. So as far as the support professional learning, they did a few different studies on the mental health and the training, and they decided in this face-to-face to online mental health training in the Harvey studies, saying that it was very similar in the increase in supporting the mental health in their staff. And what this showed to me was pretty much whatever road you want to try to support mental health, face-to-face, however you want to try to support it. In the end, I put this in my reflection, but in the end, you're only going to come out on top. I mean, one might be more than the other, but as long as you're trying, there's only going to be benefits to it. So, confidence to discuss mental health issues is a key predictor to changing behaviors. We've got to do this to be able to change behaviors. It just shows people you're willing to change and want to change. And adequate levels of support for teachers actively looking for professional growth. That just speaks for itself. If you want to grow, you can. You can always find stuff, but it's a lot easier for people to and look out for opportunities to grow, as long as if admin especially are providing those adequate levels of support. Here's my standard correlation. Relevance. And my reflection. And of course, the references. I'm excited to get this year going. I hope everyone has a great and wonderful day, and we will see you all in a few days.